So if you're like me, you've heard from a lot of people that Agile does not work. And are they right? Yes, they are. There are tons of reasons for Agile not to be effective. And even though I am a firm believer in Agile, today we're going to talk about the scenarios in which it does not work. The first reason is you cannot keep track of what is going on in the project. And when we say keep track, we're talking about where we are right now relative to what we perceive to be the end of the project. As you know, when you're running an Agile format, you operate in small blocks of time known as sprints. We organize our work in Kanban boards, moving items or work packages across the Kanban boards when the status of that item changes. So if it's in progress, we move it to the in progress column. If it needs review, we move it to that column. And if it's done, we move it over there. At the end of the sprint, we come together and we acknowledge what we have created, what we have completed, and move on to the next batch of items. Now that's great for operations, but when it comes to communicating with somebody who is not in the project about how long we have left, that becomes difficult. We don't have a graphical way of showcasing this. And the waterfall approach to this is to show a Gantt chart or a roadmap. And so people end up craving the roadmap. They want to see that Gantt chart. If you're a purely Agile team, you may not have one of those. And so communicating that progress becomes very difficult and people get frustrated because they do not have control about how the project is progressing. So that is a key reason why Agile ends up falling apart. This is a key reason why people decide to move away from Agile. The second point relating to that is the inability to see dependencies. This again is a feature of the Gantt chart, a feature of the project roadmap. You're able to see how one task interlinks with another. Does this task need to be completed before that task starts? Is a delay on task A going to affect task B, C, and D, or the other way around? Being able to see these dependencies enables you to control your resources better within your team and within your project. Not being able to see those dependencies creates a risk. And for teams who are just starting out on their Agile journey and again are not operating in a pure Agile mode, which I must say is the majority of teams, this becomes a pain point. People want to be able to control their risks. People want to see dependencies on tasks. Point 3, and you're going to see how this is all related right now. As you can imagine, it becomes difficult to manage complex programs and projects with the Agile framework standalone. Not being able to see dependencies, not being able to see a roadmap, and not having a holistic view of the project becomes problematic for interrelated projects and projects with a lot of different stakeholders, immense complexity, and a lot at stake. Where you have cross-functional teams, and I'm not talking about cross-functional being you're all pretty much in the same department and you are in different sub-teams working on a project and you're used to working that way. I'm talking about matrix, real cross-functional departments that may not even be in the same building, not even in the same country. When projects become highly complex, and this is probably something that we need to go into in a bit more detail, what exactly makes a project complex, but stick with me here for a moment. If a project is complex, then Agile starts to fall apart. Control starts slipping through your fingers, and you find it difficult to keep track of everything that is going on in relation to the big picture. In fact, if you're at the heart of the project, you might know what's going on, being the touch point and the centerpiece of that project, i.e. you're the project manager, you're the owner, you're the one running everything. But if you're not in that position, how do you know what's going on? And it is for this inability to be transparent about complex projects why Agile can be tedious. Another problem is that the culture within the team is not advanced enough for Agile. The culture within the team is young and it hasn't advanced to the stage in which Agile can be operated in its pure sense. And this is fine because all teams have a building point. All teams are growing at different stages, and throughout their life cycle, they are at different stages. When it comes to Agile, it starts with the mindset. And if you do not have a firm mindset for Agile working, then the team, you cannot grow to the next level. The team cannot advance to using the tools, using the frameworks, and actually working in an Agile way. First, they need to think and believe in an Agile fashion before they can start doing that work. So what have you tried to do? Have you flung a ton of tools at your team and say, go forth and be Agile, here's Jira? Or have you embedded the belief system of Agile within your team first? Because if that mindset is there, then your team is able to capitalize and grow on that incrementally. And that's one of the values of Agile: incremental growth, incremental improvement. Approach it that way with your teams, starting from the values perspective, and you will see results. But if not, it's gonna fall apart and Agile won't work. As I've said before, most teams aren't fully Agile, but you still need to manage your work. Whether it's a project management team or whether you are a team in a department, you need to organize your work so that it is transparent, so that people know what they're doing and that things actually get done. How do you do that without going full-blown project manager on people? I have something for you. It's a 9-step toolkit that I created to help you to build a simplistic, easy project plan. This is a plan that people will actually use. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. It really helps the channel to grow, and it lets me know that you want to see more and more of this content. Thank you so much for joining, and I will see you in the next one.